Hi, this is Julia with Impact Media, here to show you a little bit about our location and presence reporting Wi-Fi marketing tool. Essentially, at this demo location, we've set up various access points that have created a triangulated space that allows the Wi-Fi to communicate with this program and give you details about what people are doing, where they are going, how long they are hanging out at different places in your venue. In this case, there are two locations loaded into this example. We have the conference center first floor and the ground floor. In this case, we're looking at the ground floor. For convenience, we can zoom into areas that have been built in. This is a mapped area that our engineers have built and placed into the software program for the reporting purposes. Now, we're going to look at what all this can do. I'm going to switch to edit mode, and it is going to allow me to see the foot traffic and where they have gone through the building. Now, right now, it's set on a specific time that it's viewing, but what this overview report is telling you is the number of devices, the numbers of male and female users. The blue, of course, are male. The pink, of course, are female. Over here, it's going to give us the number of devices in the brand, seen there in that little donut marked device. You'll also see a number of different connection methods in the login donut and the number of users within certain age ranges. This is also giving you information about the entrances, where they've come in, where they've traveled. I can hover over. It's going to break those down and show me specifically what those areas are. Now, at any time, I can select these, and it will give me that information as well. Now, on the data overlay, right here, I can take out unknown and take out the females, and I can just check out the traffic and what's going on with the male visitors to the venue. Or reverse that, of course, and watch what's going on with the female. You can also select age ranges, login methods. Just gives me a greater detail of information to help me know what I'm doing, what I'm looking at, who my people are. Right here, I can actually see where Oprah, actually this says Oprah, where Oprah Winfrey is in the store. Simon, everybody's favorite guy to hate. David Beckman, scrolling on down. Clearly, we're having a celebrity event at the conference center this evening. As I move forward, I can come up here. I can watch it in fast forward very quickly, slow it down even. Here's the thing that I like the most. I can go look at a specific time in a specific place. This is going to give me traffic for this designated amount of time. I can also drop down in the window, and I can select specifically the hours that I want to look at. So if you know that you ran a sale between specific hours, you can watch the foot traffic. Something very cool about this is that we can actually direct and influence people to go from one location in your venue to another. So let's say we have someone down here by this entrance and they've been hanging out maybe on a bench here for 10 minutes. This can be programmed to send them if they've logged in through your Wi-Fi, this can be set to send them a text message that actually encourages them to enjoy 40% off if they travel through the store to this other location. Now, when they do that, of course, the benefit is that they're up and around looking at merchandise. They may never make it to that end place simply because they found something else to purchase along the way. So for fairs and events, this is very powerful because it allows you to see what people are doing and where you can charge more for your booths, where your money makers are, where the high foot traffic goes. You know better than I do what that equates to in dollar signs if you have visible proof of the benefit of setting up a booth in a particular place. So that's a quick and brief introduction into the into the floor plan analytics. On this same particular, on this same particular graph, I want to make this go away. Oops, no. We can also look at a heat map. And essentially what this heat map is telling us is where people have hung out the most. The darker the concentrated color, the longer that people have been there. The lighter areas mean that people haven't really spent any time there. But again, the more concentrated and the darker the color, the more people and longer that people have stayed in that one particular location. So let's go into zone analytics. Our zone analytics are going to record the visitor's journey, and it's going to show the count of users moving through specific zones that have been entered on the floor plan. Now, the number of users who entered a zone are represented by the size, in particular, of that node. So you can see most people have come in through Exhibit Hall C, and then users moving to other zones are represented by link size between the zones. So you can see most of the people that went through Exhibit Hall C have entered into Exhibit Hall B. Now, a few have ventured off to the conference area, but the majority of people did go on to Exhibit Hall B. Now, the unlinked space of nodes represents users that haven't transitioned to another zone or to another place where they've dropped off. So the majority of people in this particular instance, the majority of people are still in Exhibit Hall C. So moving on to visitors' paths, this is going to show the percentage each path, and its steps represent the whole journey. So hovering over the different steps in the path is going to show the steps that make up that path and what percentage of users took it up until that point. Now, in some instances, this can be helpful in setting up your retail establishment or setting up an event or charging for booths. It shows you, it gives you actual visible proof of what people are doing, how they're getting there, how they're thinking. It can also be very helpful in determining security at events and finding out the most traveled places where you need to put your people that ensure the safety and the flow of your event or your venue. Let's scroll on down. The average dwell for zones is going to show the average amount of time that users spend in a particular zone. So this is the amount of time before a user is actually recorded as having moved to another zone or classed as having left the floor plan altogether. So the average dwell time in Exhibit Hall C is 15.2 minutes. Now the top 10 devices seen is going to show the percentage of the top 9 devices seen but not necessarily logged in to your Wi-Fi. Everything else is going to be grouped under other. Finally, on this particular zone analytic report, you're going to see a heat map of people by hour, which is going to basically give you an hourly breakdown of the visitor count in particular zones. So as I hover over those, you're going to see like no activity to very busy. So it's going to give you specific, oops, sorry. You can select the date or the range. In this particular example, November 23rd is what is selected. So I can't customize that, but in your own program, you can. So that's the bottom of our zone analytics, that heat map of people by hour. Scrolling back up, average dwell for zones, visitor paths, visitor journeys, and then my personal favorite, floor plan analytics, give you powerful and helpful insight into what people are doing, where they're hanging out, what appeals to them. Just essentially helps you understand them. It also gives you the opportunity to set up additional services where we can market to people that are within specific zones and encourage them to purchase or encourage them to go to another place in your venue. The opportunity is actually limitless. So this is a very, very powerful tool. I encourage you to consider adding it to your marketing strategy, as it will provide information that you've never had at your fingertips before.